Good. I'd like to start by thanking our fans for Saturday. It was unbelievable atmosphere. We had a lot of recruits on campus, a lot of really good players too, and God, it was special. I know our players commented, the guys that have been here before, it was electric in the stadium. So really want to thank our fans and really the students and everybody involved. It was really a great atmosphere, and I know for sure that helped us, and especially that second half when we really got things going, and it was loud, and man, it was a big time atmosphere. So can't say enough about our fans. Are doing a great job. Our students, thanks for coming and being loud, and let's keep it rolling. We need them here for the rest of them too, and every week gets bigger. So really appreciate that. All right, questions.
Matt was talking about the importance of halftime adjustments
Mm-hmm.
and everything, but certainly Saturdays.
Yeah.
Just how you use that time to make the changes you need to make. Can you talk a little bit about what you did Saturday and how you
Yeah.
did that third quarter?
Well, I think first of all, it's a combined effort of our staff. Randy Clements being our O-line coach and really handling the run game and having some different ways to present the same runs that we ran in the first half. I think that was huge. But Freddie, his input, Lonnie, his input, Larry. I mean, all four of us, or all five of us, I guess, putting our heads together. And really, I think it becomes, okay, what have we been good at in the first half? Why hadn't certain things worked? Is it we didn't execute it, or is it just not a good call? Because every time you play someone, they're always going to present a few different things than you've seen on film and that you're not expecting. And Miami did the same thing. And so I just think, as a staff, you're always trying to make sure, you check the boxes when the game starts. Okay, did they line up like we think? Are they presenting anything different? Any new pressure? Any new coverage or whatever? What do we need to do to adjust in the second half? And, make notes throughout the first half, and then, get together at halftime very quickly, because it takes a little bit to get down and back and so forth. But if you're organized, I think we have a great plan at halftime. Everybody's got a responsibility, and we kind of, organize and go through it and then present it to our guys and make sure they understand, because that's the big thing. If they don't understand what we're doing, it's not going to be any good. So far, I've been really pleased with how our staff has done that.
Just look at the offense in general, right?
Yeah.
Ted scores 3 touchdowns.
Mhm.
Marion has 200 some odd yards rushing.
Yeah.
Drake does his thing. Is this the most fun you've had calling an offense in your career?
It's definitely one of, for sure. You remember, obviously you go back through the years, and some years were better than others or whatever, but it's all about the players. But I'm just enjoying coaching these guys. These guys are, man, they're just eager. They're eager. They want to please. They want to know what to do and why we're doing it. They're smart guys. They practice. They do everything we ask them to do, and that makes it fun to come to work every day and coach guys that want to be coached. And I think that's what's special right now. We'll look back later and see really how special it is. But through 6 games, I like the direction we're headed. But we still got a lot of things that we can improve on. I mean, you go back through it. Yesterday or Sunday, I was showing them 15 clips of, man, Miami didn't do anything here that we didn't think and we didn't execute for whatever reason. So you're always trying to clean that up and get better, and we got a lot of things we can improve on. And I think stuff like that's for later on down the road, looking back, and seeing what we did. But right now we haven't really accomplished anything other than, we're in a good spot, and we got to keep working every week.
Coming back to those halftime adjustments.
Yeah.
This year you guys are outscoring teams 71-24 in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
What about this group makes them, I guess, particularly good at responding to those adjustments and actually executing them, especially early on in the second half?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think a lot of it's our players. They're smart guys. Their football IQ is pretty high. I think each coaches in their individual meetings during the week try to explain the why of we're doing something, not just memorizing the play. I think that helps some too. And then again, I think it goes back to our staff. We got a strong staff that that we're disciplined. I think about understanding our responsibilities and having answers that within our system. What you don't want is a guy coming in and say, hey, we need to do this, but we've never done that before, right? Because there's a lot of good plays out there. So it's things that fit in our system that fit what we're seeing. I think that's a big part of it. And so far that's been good, and there'll be more challenges as we go, and we've got to stay focused and disciplined on those things as we move forward.
Max said that when you play really talented teams like Miami, sometimes there's a chance of more penalties, especially like holding or something like that, because they're good. Some of those teams,
Oh, yeah.
they just naturally resort to that. Where do you chalk up some of the additional holding calls? You guys had more of those.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I think we almost 100 yards of offense that we left out there based on the penalties, and we've been pretty disciplined all year, and I think probably what Coach said about, you play a talented team, a little quicker, a little stronger, a little faster than you think. It probably has something to do with it, but we got to go back this week and really coach our guys on what those penalties are and why we had those penalties. And most of the time, the penalties occur because we didn't get in the right position initially, right? And then we have to understand that we have to when you're losing and the guys, you're losing your man, you got to let him go. And some referee crews are way more aggressive throwing flags than others, and we got to adjust. And they threw a lot of flags on both sides, I think, Saturday. And we got to do a great job as coaches of making sure our guys understand how big that is.
As a follow-up to that, what you said about letting it go, is JJ's hold kind of in that?
A little bit, probably, yeah. And
So like the refs may allow a pinch of it, but if you go
right.
excessive, that's
Yeah, and I think especially out on the perimeter, you're kind of exposed a little more, and any jersey that they're going to call that. And I don't think it was a horrific hold at all. I mean, so I've seen worse let go, but at the end of the day, they called it. So I think we got to teach them and make them understand. And maybe he could move his feet better and not be in that position. Maybe that's something to it. Lonnie will work on that this week. But at the end of the day, we don't need to shoot ourselves in the foot. We need to make the defense stop us and not stop ourselves. And that, it goes back to being disciplined, and we got to improve in that area.
Chip, how do you see now with Cody out for the foreseeable future? How do you see the mix working at wideout? Obviously, you only played the three guys basically. And Doc got in there for a snap, but I mean, you have the tight ends to be creative. Like,
Yeah.
Did you like how the usage looked Saturday night, or would you like to change that maybe a little bit?
Yeah, I think Lonnie and I talked yesterday. We need to play more guys, and Coach is always on us about that. And he's exactly right. We have some depth at those wideout spots. Now, what's unique is we've got three tight ends that can play. So a lot of times we've used those guys in 12 and 13 personnel. But we need to play more wideouts. I think Doc has done a nice job, and he's earned some playing time there. And so Lonnie made that point the other day. We don't need those three guys playing all those snaps, and we'll work to doing a better job with that for sure.
Chip, you guys won the turnover battle for or you had 0 turnovers rather for the third time against Miami. Matt was in here saying that he actually likes to see more, points off of turnovers. From a practice standpoint, how do you kind of rep that, the so-called sudden change? How do you kind of rep, the quick turnaround?
Yeah. Yeah, we go back and look, and it comes down to scoring in the red zone, I think. And we didn't score enough touchdowns. When the defense gives us the ball, you feel like it's a free possession. So we have to, in a couple of those, we had some penalties that really, it goes back to those penalties that really shot ourselves in the foot and put us in long yardage situations, and we don't need to do that. I think Ced's interception comes to mind. We were down in that end of the red zone, and either the second and third play, we had a penalty that put us way back. That might have been the one we threw Tez on a touchdown. I can't remember, but I just know that's a part of it, being more disciplined. When you put yourselves behind the chains, it makes it more difficult to score, and we've done that. Unfortunately, we did that last Saturday night, and we got to make sure that when we get those opportunities, we take advantage of them. Coach is right; it's a free possession in some case, really, if you think about it that way. And the more we can take advantage of that, our defense keeps giving us opportunities, then I think the better we'll be.
How much, when Miami declined that penalty, I think it would have made it 2nd and 30, how much did that change what you would have done had it been 2nd and 30 versus 3rd and 20 there in that situation, or did it matter?
I don't think so, just because it was so far. My thought was, can we get back in field goal range and get us a field goal? Are they going to bring pressure or not, which they didn't. Is you talking about the one where he threw to Tez? Is that, yeah. So, yeah, my thought was, that was about the same to me, just had an extra down, so maybe you're not quite trying to throw it down the field as much, but we executed it pretty good, and, it worked out. But, again, we put ourselves in that position with a penalty.
Gavin got dinged up and missed a couple of weeks. Has he worked his way back, or is there another reason maybe why he's...
No, he's worked his way back. I think he's lingered some, getting himself back with his situation. But I think you'll see more of him as we go. I just think, there's a whole protocol about practicing and those guys exerting themselves in practice and how their body reacts. And I think, some days have been better than others for that. But I think the more we go, the more he'll play.
As a follow-up, have you seen over time, just like each guy's different when they have what he had?
Yeah.
There's no specific time.
Yeah, I think so. Now more than ever in this day and age, and we have the technology so much better about testing those guys and seeing how everybody reacts different, and he'll be back as soon as we can get him back going. Definitely, he's a guy that has a role.
We had Willie Lampkin in here
Mm-hmm.
last week. Here's a guy that's not 6'3" and 330.
Yeah.
How does he get it done?
I think he plays. First of all, he practices and plays extremely hard. It's personal for him. He's really self-motivated. He does a great job with leverage and hand placement and fundamentals. He's really good on his feet with balance, and I think that's that wrestling background I mentioned earlier. He plays with great leverage and pad level, and he plays extremely hard, and he plays with an attitude that he's going to get it done, and he's very confident in his abilities, and I think that's when you're into that size, you have to have something special about you. We've seen that in every sport I've ever been a part of. Guys that have a little bit of self-motivation. I think Willie has that.
You got time for one more.
Matt talked about red zone efficiency in the last 2 weeks and not exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is either the roadblock or the difficulty for this team in particular when they get down inside?
Yeah, I think the penalties stick out to me the most coming off Saturday for sure. I think that's an area that really now you really sit, just like the one we even threw to Tez for a touchdown. We're down there in the red zone, I'm pretty sure, and we get knocked out of the red zone. We still score, but I think for us, we just have to, as a staff, keep looking at, how can we score touchdowns? That's what when the bigger the games are, you need to get touchdowns instead of field goals. And luckily, we're making our field goals, so that's a good thing. But at the end of the day, we want touchdowns, and we just got to do a better job of executing. We execute what we're trying to do, and as a staff, as coaches, we got to make sure that we're giving them the best opportunity. But the penalties are huge. We cannot have the penalties, and really, because it's hard enough without penalties, right? So we don't need those for sure.
All right.
All right,
Thanks, Chip.
y'all have a good day.
Chip, what's